Imagine compressing weeks, literally weeks, of deep research, complex data analysis, creative strategizing, all of that down into what, maybe 10 minutes? That sounds like science fiction, right?
It really does. Yeah. But it's becoming a very real possibility. Think of it like having an entire professional studio just sort of on demand.
Welcome to the deep dive. Today we're unpacking Perplexity Labs. It's a groundbreaking feature that promises to revolutionize how we approach complex projects.
Yeah, we're going to explore what Labs actually is, who it's really built for, and how it radically differs from other AI tools maybe you're already using. We'll take a quick look at the interface, then dive into some pretty fascinating real-world examples.
Our mission today is really to understand how this tool transforms that whole project creation process, the goal, freeing up your time for, the strategic thinking part. So what does this actually mean for you and the work you do? Okay, let's get into it. What exactly is Perplexity Labs?
It definitely sounds like more than just a fancy search engine. You're spot on there. The source material describes it as an on-demand team. Think research analysts, data scientists, creative strategists, all ready to turn your ideas into, well, professional projects. It's pitched as functioning like an entire professional studio.
So it tackles that big pain point, right? Projects that demand deep research, data analysis, compelling presentations, the kind of stuff that usually eats up days, maybe even weeks.
Precisely, yeah. The really bold promise here is compressing that whole workflow into just 10 minutes. While standard search gives you quick answers, and even Perplexity's deep research feature offers detailed reports, Labs goes like a quantum leap further. It actually generates entire projects. We're talking interactive dashboards, professional charts, visual assets, even miniature web applications. It's pretty wild.
Wow. Who stands to gain the most from that kind of speed and capability? Who is this tool really designed for?
Well, it's versatile, but it seems to deliver exceptional value for specific professional profiles. You've got entrepreneurs needing quick market research, maybe pitch materials, marketing pros developing campaign strategies, understanding audience sentiment, consultants creating those in-depth industry reports under, crazy tight deadlines, content creators building calendars based on actual data, corporate strategists evaluating new markets, presenting complex data. Basically, if your job involves turning raw information into strategic presentable assets, Labs is aimed right at you.
So it's a full project generator. What's the core problem it solves for these people, boiled down?
It compresses weeks of multifaceted work into minutes, saving just immense amounts of time.
Okay, here's where it gets really interesting for me. How does Perplexity Labs stand out? I mean, from all the other AI and research tools we might already know, there are so many now.
Yeah, that's a really good question. The core difference. Labs is positioned as an AI project creator, not just a text or question generator. There's this analogy they use. Standard Perplexity search is like asking a brilliant librarian for a quick, sourced fact. Okay, Perplexity Deep Research is more like hiring a research assistant for a comprehensive summary paper. But Perplexity Labs, that's like commissioning an entire consulting firm. It synthesizes, it analyzes, and it transforms information into, actionable business assets.
That's a pretty powerful distinction, a consulting firm level. How does it actually do that? What's going on underneath?
It seamlessly integrates multiple AI capabilities. So we're talking deep web research for real-time data, code execution for complex analysis. That means the AI is literally running programs to process data, plus chart and graph creation, interactive dashboard development, even professional asset generation like mood boards. And like I said, it can even create mini web applications.
Whoa. Imagine scaling that to 1 billion queries. That unified workflow sounds key. Right. That's the magic, really, how these capabilities work together. You're not exporting data from one tool, importing it into another, then formatting it somewhere else. Everything happens within this single unified workflow. It produces professional results in minutes, not days. It's kind of like stacking Lego blocks of data, but, the AI does the building.
So how does it combine these complex AI functions? Is that the secret sauce?
It integrates multiple AI capabilities into one seamless, unified workflow. Yeah.
All right, so let's say someone's listening and thinking, okay, I want this consulting firm on my laptop. How do you actually get started?
Well, the journey starts with a Perplexity Pro subscription. That's about $20 a month currently. And the source material really emphasizes the immediate value compared to, subscribing to a bunch of separate tools. Once you're subscribed, the gateway to Labs is this little light bulb icon in the search interface. It's distinct from the standard search modes.
Okay, light bulb icon.
Yeah.
And how much can you actually do with it once you're in? Is it unlimited usage? So a pro subscription gives you 50 Labs queries per month. Now, that covers initiating new projects and any follow-up questions you ask within that project. And 50 might sound a bit limited at first, but the guide points out that each lab query can deliver the equivalent of a full day's work. Some more. So it's framed as an incredibly valuable resource, even with that cap. When you first open Labs, you'll see suggested prompts too, things like market research or content planning. They're pretty good starting points.
Let's say you're inside, you've kicked off a project. What's the interface like? What's the command center look like?
Great. The Labs interface is your project command center. It's structured with a few key tabs. You've got the main Labs tab. That's your primary workspace, showing the final presentation-ready report, text, charts, visuals, all there. Then there's the Assets tab. Think of that as your download center. It organizes every single chart, graph, image, and data file like a CSV file if you need the raw numbers ready for individual download.
And what about seeing the AI's process? You mentioned transparency. Is that the Tasks tab?
That's the Tasks tab, yeah. This is actually a fascinating tab. It gives you this transparent, kind of behind-the-scenes look at the AI's thought process. Pretty neat. You can literally watch in real time as it breaks your request into subtasks, like analyzing customer sentiment on Reddit or finding competitor pricing. And keeping with that transparency, the Sources tab lists every website, article, data point it used. Finally, the Apps tab. That's where any interactive bits, like a custom dashboard or a mini tool, would live.
Interesting. So what's one key feature that really shows the AI's internal workings?
The Tasks tab definitely reveals how the AI breaks down requests into detailed subtasks.
That transparency sounds powerful. We'll explore how that plays out in real examples right after this brief break. 2-sec silence. Mid-roll sponsor read. All right, we're back. That tour gives us a solid sense of the capabilities. Now let's bring this to life. Let's talk real-world examples from the source material. What's the first one?
Okay, first scenario is mastering market research. So imagine an entrepreneur launching Clean, a new coffee alternative. The prompt they use is really specific. Act as a market analyst specializing in the sustainable CPG industry. CPG is consumer packaged goods, with a mission to create a detailed market analysis report, including competitive analysis, customer sentiment, innovation trends, and go-to-market strategy.
Wow. Okay, so it's not just pulling facts together. It's synthesizing, analyzing, creating a whole strategic document.
Exactly. The output described is basically a mini business plan. It includes things like pricing model, comparison charts, a customer sentiment analysis table that actually highlights opportunities, visuals of cutting-edge packaging trends, and a really clear strategic roadmap. And again, all done in minutes.
That's quite something. What about for, say, content creators? They're always under pressure for fresh ideas, strategic planning.
Yeah, definitely. So for a travel blogger focusing on slow and sustainable travel, Labs can act as an SEO strategist. The prompt asks for a detailed 3-month content calendar that includes 15 high-potential blog topics, short-form video ideas, target keyword clusters, and even hidden gem analysis for finding underrated destinations. The result: it's described as a structured plan you can execute immediately, with themed content, unique angles, really practical stuff.
Okay, market research, content planning. What about something really creative, like brand identity? That feels like it needs a human touch, surely.
It absolutely does need human oversight, but Labs can be a powerful starting point or accelerator. The final example is for Ember Chocolate, an artisanal bean-to-bar chocolate brand. The prompt asks Labs to act as a creative director and brand strategist, developing a comprehensive brand direction document. This includes a brand story, 5 unique flavor profile concepts, and get this, a visual identity system, including color palette suggestions with the actual HEX codes.
Wow.
Typography pairings, packaging design direction, and even a social media mood board.
That's pretty wild. It's really going beyond just text generation. It's giving you concrete visual and strategic building blocks.
Yeah, the claim is it produces agency-quality deliverables, things you could potentially hand off directly to a designer.
Looking at these different examples, market research, content, branding, what's the common thread? What makes it work across these diverse needs?
I think it's the ability to generate actionable professional assets tailored to specific business needs.
Okay, so you get this output, but what if it's not quite right? What if the first draft needs tweaking? Can you refine it?
Oh, absolutely. That's a key feature. It's conversational nature.
Oh.
Your first result is very rarely the final word. You can refine, you can edit, you can expand using follow-up prompts right there within the same project. This iterative process is really crucial for honing the final deliverable. I still wrestle with prompt drift myself sometimes, getting the phrasing just right to guide the AI, so I get it.
Yeah, that iterative part sounds important. It's more like a collaboration.
Exactly. You can ask it to, say, change a chart type from a bar graph to a pie chart, or add a new section about regulatory risks, maybe generate some marketing slogans based on the report, or even just export the raw data from a table into a CSV file for your own analysis. Each of those follow-up prompts uses one of your 50 monthly queries, just so you know.
Okay, good to know. So once you've iterated, you've refined it, you have this amazing project,
Yeah.
how do you actually use it? How do you share it?
Labs seems pretty strong here, too. You can create a beautifully formatted professional PDF of the report. Great for client presentations. You can export it to a Word document if you want to edit the text more or integrate it into other docs. From that Assets tab we talked about, you can download individual high-resolution charts and images for your own slides or whatever, and you can generate a direct shareable link so colleagues or clients can view the interactive report online.
It sounds revolutionary, genuinely. But like any powerful tool, there must be limitations, right? Caveats. What should people keep in mind?
Absolutely. And the source material is quite clear on this, emphasizing the necessity of human oversight. AI-generated content is described as a powerful first draft, not an infallible final product. Your expertise, your judgment is irreplaceable. Also, that Sources tab isn't just a neat feature. It's framed as a responsibility to cross-reference key data points. You got to check the work. Be critical of potential biases, too, because AI models learn from vast amounts of internet data, which isn't always perfect or unbiased. And while Labs uses real-time search, there can sometimes be a slight lag. So for really fast-moving topics, maybe supplement with live news feeds.
Right, so it's about augmenting human intelligence, leveraging the tool, not blindly trusting it or replacing judgment.
Exactly. Avoid that over-reliance risk. Use Labs to automate the data gathering, the initial analysis, the visualization. That frees you up to focus on your strategy, your interpretation, your decision-making. That's where the real value comes from.
So when using these tools, what's the most critical human role in the process?
Human oversight is essential to ensure strategic coherence and definitely to verify source accuracy.
Okay, let's talk brass tacks. That $20 monthly fee. When you weigh it all up, is Perplexity Labs truly worth the investment?
Well, when you compare it to the alternatives, the value proposition seems pretty clear, according to the source. Think about it. A single market research report. That could cost $10,000, maybe even $50,000. A brand identity package. $5,000 to $20,000, easily. And just subscriptions to various specialized software tools, SEO tools, data viz tools, research databases that can easily run over $500 a month combined.
That puts the $20 into a different perspective.
Right. So for a fraction of the cost, Labs is offering the core functionality of all these services on demand. The ROI isn't just money saved, it's also about time gained and opportunities captured. The source claims Labs pays for itself the first time you avoid hiring a freelancer for a small research task, or the first time you deliver a data-rich report to a client in hours instead of weeks. That's a powerful claim.
It really sounds like it represents a potential shift in how work gets done, a new way of working.
I think that's the argument. It's positioned as more than just an AI feature. It's a potential new paradigm for professional work. It democratizes access to high-level research, analysis, and creative strategy. This potentially enables individuals, small teams, to produce outputs that were maybe once only possible for large corporations with huge resources. The true advantage lies in speed and agility.
Giving you that competitive edge.
That's the idea. By embracing a tool like this, you're not just automating tasks away, you're potentially augmenting your own strategic capabilities, freeing up your most valuable resource, which is your time, right, to focus on making great decisions and bringing visionary ideas to life.
So the big idea here, Perplexity Labs shifts the paradigm. It moves AI from just answering questions to actively creating entire professional projects.
Yeah, it's framed as your on-demand studio, dramatically accelerating workflows and democratizing access to high-level output for pretty much anyone.
This deep dive really does highlight how AI can fundamentally augment our capabilities in some really powerful ways. As you think about your own projects, your own workflows, what's one provocative thought you might take away from this?
Maybe think about how many tasks you currently outsource, or maybe even tasks you just dread doing because of the sheer time commitment involved. Could an AI like Perplexity Labs become your essential, maybe even daily, collaborative partner for those specific tasks?
That's a great question to mull over. We certainly hope this deep dive into Perplexity Labs has sparked some new ideas for you.
Yeah, definitely food for thought. Until next time, OTO music.